If you've been wanting to start a YouTube channel and you think that you don't have the right gear for it, more than likely you're watching this video right now on the gear that you're going to use to start your YouTube channel. Give me a few minutes of your time and I'm going to show you all of the things that you need to do to shoot on your phone to get the best results. I'm going to walk you through some of the basic settings, how to get the best lighting in everyday situations. I don't care if you're shooting on an iPhone or an Android, it all works the same. Now I'm just covering shooting normal recording modes in the stock apps on these phones. If you're curious to learn about filming in log or using ProRes, you're already more advanced than what this video can offer. That stuff gets a little too confusing whenever you're just starting out, so we're leaving that behind. I'll make a different video on it. All right, before we get started, there are a few settings that I want to cover in the phone that it's just gonna make it a lot easier every time you pick up your phone to film. Starting with the iPhone. We're gonna go to our settings, scroll down to camera, record video. I'm going to set this to 4K at 24 frames per second. I like to shoot everything at 24 frames, or if you are in a different country, it may be 25 frames. I like to keep enhanced stabilization on because I do a lot of handheld filming with my phone. Next up, we're going to go to record sound. We want to make sure that this is recording in stereo. And what this means is it's going to record using all of the microphones that are in this camera. Just select all of these, make sure those are turned on if they are available. Now, moving down to formats, we're going to film most compatible. This is going to film an H.264 file, which is just going to run a little bit faster on most computers. Now, an important setting to go through are the preserve settings. What we're going to do is we're going to toggle on camera mode, and what this is going to make sure is that every time we open the camera app, it's going to leave off in the last settings that we had. So it's not going to reset your frame rate, it's not going to reset the 4K down to 1080, because early on you may forget to change a setting back and you might end up recording something in the wrong settings and it's just going to get overwhelming. So we're going to turn camera mode on. Exposure adjustment, I like to turn this off and I'm going to manually set this. Everything else, this can stay off. All right, now we move down to composition, and we'll have the ability to change these in the camera app, but in composition, I want you to turn grid on. I want you to turn the level on. Now, if you're on an Android phone, let's do the same thing. Go to settings, camera settings, scroll down to video format. We're going to do the same thing for compatibility. We're going to film in H.264. Video stabilization on. We're going to turn composition guide on. Settings to keep. Toggle on camera mode, and that's it. Leave the rest the same. Now, if you're shooting on an Android phone, depending on which one you're using, it may only support 30 frames per second. That's totally fine. For example, my S26 Ultra only supports 4K or 8K recording at 30 frames per second, unless I go into the Pro Video mode, which is fine, but it gets a little confusing. So I would recommend sticking with the normal video mode and just shoot 4K or 1080 at 30 frames per second. I'm also going to be mainly filming on the iPhone during this video, but you can easily do anything I'm about to talk about on any phone. All right, so now we're ready to film, but before we do that, there's one incredibly important thing we need to do. We need to clean our lens. You know that smudgy look on your camera lens when you're trying to take a photo and it looks like you're in a cloud? You need to make sure that you wipe your lens before you record every time. I don't care if you use your shirt or a microfiber cloth, but the first thing you do before you ever record everything, just make it a point to do this every single time you pick up your phone, is clean off the lenses. All right, my phone is ready to film. Now I want to show you a few very easy to follow lighting tips that will help every time you film a video. All right, so you may think that you don't have proper lighting for filming your videos, but good news, unless you live in a dungeon underground, you have a window, and we're gonna start with that. All right, I'm using the front-facing camera on my iPhone right now, and I wanna show you a few quick things you can do with lighting to make it look better. So right now, this looks pretty bright and flat and not good at all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop my exposure to minus 0.7. So what that's gonna do is it's gonna drop the brightness just a little bit to kind of help create a little more shadow and mood, and now we can dial that in with our lighting. So right now, you can see here, I'm in front of a window. It's just a bright source. There's nothing making the light soft. This is just straight light right at my face. If you're directly in front of that window like I am right now, this probably doesn't look that good. Now, if we turn this way 45 degrees, so now you can see from this camera that this window is just off to the side. Now we have a little shadow on my face that looks a little bit nicer, but this still feels a little harsh. So if this is all you can work with, this is fine. But if you can, you want to soften this light. So what I'm going to do is drop my shade And you can do this with any shade. You can get these cheap on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. And what this is going to do is diffuse that light. Now it's going to get a lot darker in here because it's cutting light down, but it's basically spreading the light around as opposed to focusing it right on my face. So now you can see the same shot looks a little more pleasing. Here's a quick before and after side by side so you can see how they look next to each other. Now it's very important to film with the light in front of you as opposed to behind, because as soon as you turn your back to the window, now what the camera has to do is bring the levels up to make sure that I'm not too dark. See how everything is kind of hazy around me? It just doesn't look flattering. Now if I go to the side here, this is still a little too dramatic. That looks kind of gross. And then we shift over here, it's starting to look a little bit better. We can adjust our exposure just a bit. This is gonna be a lot better than this, and especially better than this. Real quick, before we continue on, please consider subscribing to the channel if you are not already. I'm on the hunt for 50,000 subscribers. I'm getting so close, but I need your help. So if you're not yet, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Let's continue. All right, now what if you're shooting outside? This right now, it's about 1 p.m. We call that high noon. It's a clear day, so the sun, it's very bright. So it's not an ideal time to film outside, but if you are, there are a few things you can do to make it a little bit better. So when the sun is high like this, it's going to create these weird shadows under your eyes. So the sun is directly in front of me right now. This looks terrible. You can't see my eyes. It's just not good. There's a lot of bad shadows. So in this situation, we're actually going to film with the sun behind us. And what this is going to do is the phone's going to be able to bring up the exposure a little bit to balance it out. It may make the background a little bit brighter, but now we can see our face. There's a lot less shadow and it's a lot cleaner of an image. So if we're filming outside during this time of day, film with the sun behind you and it'll help just a little bit. Now, if it's a cloudy day, you've lucked out because it's going to make filming outside so much easier. The clouds pretty much create a layer of diffusion over the entire region you're in, so pretty much everything's going to look good. You can tell I don't have to worry about any of those weird shadows that I had before. All right, so setting up this shot here, you remember in the settings, we turned on the grid lines and we turned on the level. Let me show you what those are and how they work. All right, so you can see these grid lines here. These are going to help us make sure that our lines are nice and straight. What we don't want is a shot that looks like this or a shot that looks like this. It's going to be distracting and it just doesn't look clean. Unless we're doing like a top angle like this where we're kind of pointed down, or a low angle where we're pointing up. That's more of a specialty shot. We're not focusing on that right now. So how we do this is we're going to use our grid lines and our level. You see every time this camera goes off axis, that level pops up. What we want to do is we want to make sure that it hits that gold mark there. I start with the level there, and then from there I can adjust the tilt of the camera to get the rest of the line straight. From here, we can adjust the camera up and down to make sure we have enough headspace. So setting up a shot like this that is nice and straight is going to look a lot better than if our camera is tilted and now I'm kind of popping off to the side. It just gets distracting. So we want just a nice, clean shot. All right, let's talk about which lenses you're going to use. Now, if you're using a Pro version of the iPhone, like I'm using here, the 17 Pro, you're going to have a ton of options for focal lengths. You have 3 different lenses on this phone, but more than likely, you're only going to use the 1x and the 0.5. The 1x is this one right here. This lens is definitely the best one on this camera, but there is some stuff that goes into filming on this. If you're filming yourself, you can see how far away I have to be to get a decent shot. And depending on what type of content you're shooting, the 0.5 camera might be a better option. So this is the 0.5 lens on the camera. This is the wide angle lens. And if you are in a brighter environment like this, I would use this as much as you can, because this is obviously easy when I have this on a tripod like this. But if I were to pick this up and go handheld, I don't have to have the camera as far away from me. Like this is basically where I need to have my arm stretched out for the 1x camera. And it's just not comfortable. this also feels a lot more immersive. This feels like you and I are having a conversation, and I personally think that this is a little better to connect with the audience depending on the type of content you're filming. I love to shoot with this lens if I can. It's just a lot easier. Not to mention, if you're filming like this and you can't see anything you're filming, you're just looking at the lens, it's going to be a lot easier for you to make sure you're in the frame as opposed to a tighter shot where you have to make sure that your head's not getting cut off. I would recommend this anytime you're outside or in an environment like this where you're not in low light. By the way, if you're still watching this video at this point, I want you to spam in the comments, "Hi, Rosie." She had to go to the vet all day today, so she's not stoked. All right, so cinematic mode, I would use it sparingly. What cinematic mode does is it just creates like an artificial depth of field. So that blurry background that you see here, that's all just done in the computer of the iPhone. What cinematic mode does not do is create a cinematic shot. So if your lighting's bad, if your shot's bad, it's just gonna look a little more blurry in the background. But the issue is sometimes you might be able to see like some edges around me where the computer's trying to cut myself out of the shot to create that blur. Sometimes it just doesn't look natural, it looks weird. So if you are going to use cinematic mode, I would set that number to like a 5.0. So basically what these numbers represent is the amount of depth of field that you get in the terms of an actual lens. Is a 2.0, the lens is wide open. It's letting the most amount of light in, and that's what creates that depth of field look. Now, when you increase that number to like a 5.6 or open it up to like a 9.0, that's closing the lens, letting in less light, and it kind of gets rid of that depth of field. So it's all artificial. It looks fine if you're in well-lit situations like this, but I would use it sparingly and don't rely on it as something that you think is going to make your shot look more cinematic. So as much as you can, I want you just to use the microphones that are built into these phones. They're great, they're going to handle everything you need. But depending on what you're doing, you may need to step away from the camera, walk around, be a little further, and in that case, I would recommend getting a lav mic. Now, the easiest thing to do is just get one of these lav mics that are pretty much built for cell phones, and you literally, all you have to do is plug it in to the USB port on your phone, clip this just like that. I would recommend just leaving it on the outside. It's okay if people can see the mic, it's YouTube, it doesn't matter. And now you have a very clean audio source for talking to the camera. You don't have to do anything other than just start recording, and it's going to automatically start using the audio from this. If you're doing a lot of talking to the camera like this, I would recommend picking up one of these. This is like $45. I'll leave a link in the description. But if you are doing more just vlog style, capturing stuff, talking to the camera occasionally, you can get away with just using the microphones built into these. Now, hand-holding the camera when you're vlogging, that makes sense, but there are a lot of situations where hand-holding the camera and having that kind of shaky look is going to distract the audience. It's going to pull away from the information you're trying to talk about. So I'd highly recommend, where you can, have a static shot. Set the camera down and talk to the camera like this. Now, to do this with your phone is incredibly simple. There are two products that I would recommend. The first one being this little tripod. So I would recommend picking up one of these. This is from Lamicall, and this is a MagSafe little mini tripod multi-tool. I don't even know what this thing is, but it's really cool. Pulls out like this. It's about this tall. So you can use this as like a vlog setup like this. Drop this down, and these little legs here flip out. And now you have a little kickstand. So as a kickstand for watching things, flip this up. Now I have a tripod. This is about as tall as I can get with it, but this makes for a perfect tabletop tripod. Then I just fold it back down when I'm done. It also has a 1/4-inch thread here. There's a lot you can do with this. It's like a little Swiss Army knife for your phone. Now, in most situations, this is probably going to be perfect, but you may run into a situation quite frequently where you need your phone to be at eye level or just a little bit taller, or actually a lot of bit taller. That's where this comes in. This is a much larger MagSafe tripod for your phone. You just press this button down here, the legs shoot out, and now you can telescope this up to pretty much eye level. Unless you're almost 7 feet tall, this is going to be perfect for you. It also has these joints here, so you can really fine tune the angle of your phone. So these are very convenient to keep around. So if you're gonna pick up anything for your phone to help enhance and simplify the experience, I would definitely check out these two items. and these microphones. Everything else is going to be fluff. It's going to get overwhelming. Don't look at gimbals, don't look at all the other stuff because it's not going to help you. So there you have it, a couple tips that will hopefully make your life easier when filming on your phone. Now, I want you to save this video, go step by step again when you are filming your videos in case you forgot anything. But that's gonna be it for today. I really hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're getting closer and closer to 50,000 and I would love to hit it, but I need your help. Be sure to like this video, say hello in the comments, and yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Happy shooting. I'll see you in the next one.